the playground costs and stuff like that. So I can answer that later.
Excellent. Okay. Any other questions on item 7.1? Okay. Can I get a proposer for this statement and Amanda proposing, Andy seconding? Thank you. And votes in favour, please. Full house. Thank you. 7.2, to receive and consider for approval payments to be made and petty cash account to 11th of November.
So the petty cash is in the packs and the payments to be approved are here. It should be the last stapled page to your finance section.
Thank you very much. I'll just give everyone a few minutes just to go through the handout we just received as well. He's doing me alright. Just on item 7.2. Are there any questions, first of all? No? Can I get a proposal and seconder then for item 7.2? Ian proposing, Sean seconding, and can we get votes in favour, please? Everyone? Thank you. Okay, that brings us on to item 8 then. Item 8, so to review and consider for approval the drafted terms of reference of the Parish Council Review Panel. I'm just going to read out a quick statement from Gemma. Clark requests that the Council consider deferring item to a future meeting as part of the ongoing internal review of policies currently being actioned. Where policies specifically state an appeal as part of the procedure, these policy names should be listed within the terms of reference for clarity of remit. So there's a request come through from Gemma asking us to defer this item. I know I've certainly had a few conversations with Ruth Bolling, just querying some of this as well, and that's the main reason. We just need them to be more robust and reference all the policies that relate to it, and so this is like a first draft, if you like, of what is coming, but we need to redraft it again to just get a final proposal. Gemma?
Yeah, so basically, these were already a deferred item, so I'd pre-type them up. But I've been doing in the background a policy review, and I've noticed it's aging where there's appeal procedure, and I just think it would be better to have more clarity on what our internal procedures list and actual appeal as part of the procedure. I think it's really important with what's trying to be created in this panel is that there's a really robust set of terms of reference, and I feel that I could probably add a little bit more to it from the first draft that I completed. So that's the reason why I've popped that to Martin for consideration by council.
So I'll propose that from the chair. Can I get a seconder for that then, please? Thank you, Nathan. I'll bring it to comments now to if anyone wishes to comment or Susie?
I would like to make a comment about it.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Because I feel like it's something else for consideration with it.
Yeah.
During the previous council term, from 2019 to 2023, one or possibly more of our current councillors accused several other councillors of improper actions. That was investigated by the Wakefield Monitoring Department at a cost of over £10,000, and at a cost to those councillors who were accused of 2 years of enormous stress and anguish, resulting in one of those councillors resigning, which also led the parish bearing the cost of the by-election.
Just question what...
This is relevant. I've just got a couple more things to say. During the 2019 to 2023 term, so it was found by the monitoring officer and legal team that the councillors had not acted improperly and no further action was taken against them. In order to move on from the toxic atmosphere that misjudgment created, however, I would like to say, do our current council feel that we should take care who is voted onto the parish council review panel to avoid any further poor judgments taking place?
First of all, the review panel's new that was decided to be created from, so the review panel hasn't existed before. That's the first bit, and obviously this is forming its terms of...
I didn't say it had.
This is forming its terms of reference. That's the actual item agenda. I mean, that comment, it goes back to a previous sort of thing of which there were numerous investigations done, there was a lot looked into it, and all I will comment on is, you know, I think the way this council is acting in a better sort of like standard, I would say it's unfortunate that wasn't previous term, and I think that a lot of lessons were learned on all sides. Personally, I don't think that we need to dig up the past in terms of going back and throwing it all back up again. That's already been done on a number of occasions, and as stated, that's already added to the costs of doing that. And for me, it is dealt with on the previous term. Gemma?
Could I just ask Susie a question about the terms of reference? Is there anything, because obviously I've drafted this up and it'll be me that brings it back, is there anything that's written down on this paperwork that needs to be amended, you feel? Just so that I know if there's something here, because this terms of reference wouldn't replace anything to do with the monitoring office and that procedure with councillors, and it wouldn't deal with anything that's a HR process relating to staff. They'd still go through the normal routes. This is more about business and administration procedure, where I've already dealt with a complaint or I've already dealt with a freedom of information, for example, but the person wants to escalate it further than me.
That wasn't HR anyway.
I know, I was just being clear what I'm taking away to my action. If there's feedback for me to draft anything in here, for me to understand what it is, if there is anything, whether that was a statement you were making.
Not really, no.
Okay, that was all. It was just to check if I need to amend anything in here.
But if you don't mind, I'll look at it on that basis.
Absolutely, yeah, please do, yeah.
Thank you.
And again, to all councillors, any suggestions or things that you review, you know, please send feedback through.
Yeah, it is a draft, that's the purpose of the draft, so I'll bring it back to the next meeting with those policies added in.
So we've proposed and seconded for it to be deferred to a future meeting. Can I get folks in favour of doing that then, please? Full house. Thank you very much. Okay, and the chair's favourite bit, because he gets to have a little bit of a rest, that means I could ask Andy to go through some planning. You've got a big chunk to get through.
Yeah, because there's 3 more as well, which I'll just briefly mention at the end. Right, I think I've got them in the same order, so we keep flicking back on the paper. The Priory Cottage, the water treatment works, there's reports from both West Yorkshire Archaeological Advisory Service and the Conservation Officer. The archaeology is I think it's basically a septic tank for a new house. But I don't quite understand the technicalities on that. But West Yorkshire WYAAS, just recommending that they monitor of groundworks for anything of archaeological significance while they're doing it. So they're happy with it going ahead as long as that happens, and the conservation officer is okay with it subject to that condition of monitoring. So no residents or anything of complaints. I don't think there's any issue that we need to worry about in terms of that. Number one, more Top Avenue. It's just a relatively small change to the appearance of the house itself. They're changing some of the windows, and then what looks to me to be a reasonable size outbuilding. So
I think we missed the date on it as well.
Right. Do you know, I never looked at dates.
But still, it was on there.
So I think so I don't think we need to comment. 86 Mount Pleasant was the one I wasn't quite so sure about. They're wanting to cut back a tree, which isn't theirs. But there's a photo of it, and I've looked myself at Google aerial view, and it does appear that this tree they want to cut back is basically over covering all of their garden.
Yeah.
So it's like, I have no idea how big the garden is, because you literally can't see any garden behind this house. So I'm not sure if our tree policy needs to apply necessarily, because it doesn't seem unreasonable that someone can actually use their own garden without a tree.
I know Whitfield Council are really sticky on trees at the minute.
Yeah, so I don't know if we need to add anything more to what Wakefield would decide. I don't know if it would make any difference. I'm open to what anybody else says in terms of that, but that was sort of the only one of it that I thought maybe, of the current ones, that maybe we would want to look at. But I'd be happy to note it on the basis of Wakefield would look at it.
Do you want to? Sorry.
If anybody wants to comment.
Oh, sorry.
If Andy's finished.
Yeah. On that particular.
On the tree.
On that point 3, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, my view is just that we should routinely blanket apply our view on trees, because I don't think we around this table can take a view on whether, we're not tree experts, we're not there, we haven't seen it. I don't think we should take a view on whether a particular tree should be cut back or not. I think my view is we should just apply our usual approach.
Yeah.
And that's
Council happy with applying that the tree policy? Yeah. Would you like to propose one second for that?
Just a vote's fine.
Just votes in favour for just applying the tree policy. We've got 10, 11. Are you abstaining? Yeah, abstaining.
Yeah, I'll make an abstain as abstention.
And Sean's abstaining.
I've seen that tree, actually thinking about it.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. Next one, 24 Charlestown. Again, I don't think anybody really noticed it, so I don't see an issue with that one. 87 Millgate looks like a tiny conservatory to the extent, to be fair, I was thinking, give them any planning permission for something that's that small. So I don't think any concern on that. And no comments from any residents on any of them. Claiborne Yard looks quite an interesting one. It's the little lane called Brackenhell. It's up at the top of that, and apparently there's 10 outbuildings on it at the moment. It looks like a decent sized plot of land, and they wanted to take all those down and put on their bungalow. It looks like a really eco-built bungalow with grass living roof and all that sort of stuff for it. And there's no comments against it or anything like that at all. So that one looks probably okay. I won't read it. I won't say what it was, but there's quite Beach House is the funny one. It's quite an amusing comment from a neighbour. It's a neutral comment on that one. But basically, somebody has built an open log store, and retrospectively, they've got to apply for permission for it. It seems
Right.
It's already there, and nobody's complaining about it. So again, that one seemed all right.
Excellent, thank you very much, Andy.
I can just comment, there's 3 more applications.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
not-
go ahead.
that weren't on this list, but I might as well say, because it
Sorry,
wasn't.
go on, Trevor.
Just because they're not on the agenda,
Yeah.
you can by all means comment, but we won't be able to take any action, but they tend to then appear on the next agenda.
Yeah, just to probably
So
put you
like
that
the
time,
dates
is
go,
all I was
yeah.
thinking. So just,
Yeah.
I thought if I just commented,
Yeah,
it might
yeah.
avoid an extra meeting or anything, but 10 the Court Way has got a diseased tree that they want to take down, so that seemed fine. 24 Denton Gardens want to remove the remains of, I think they had a big chunk of a tree fell down that landed on the Beverley Arms car park and things.
Right.
So they want to take the rest of that tree down, which seems pretty logical when it's lost half of it.
Yeah.
Because it's probably a bit imbalanced or likely to fall the other way, the other bit. The only one that I was not sure about, and to be honest I didn't notice the date, another one on Denton Gardens, want a crown lift and they want to remove an epicormic growth, which actually from a quick Google search, because I've no idea what an epicormic growth is, there seem to be a lot of people saying you shouldn't remove them, but I don't understand trees, so other than big and green, you know, sort of thing. So I'm not, maybe we need to have a quick consider.
I live on Denton Gardens, I'll be very sorry.
I'm not going to tell you because I probably remember it long. So I did look it up.
So what I can do, Joe,
So we might want to discuss that one specifically.
so they'll have come through between the agenda being posted and obviously this meeting, but Environment, Road Safety and Planning, in their terms of reference, they now have delegated powers from council to review any that are expiring before the next council meeting.
Sure.
So I'll look at the dates of those and add them to the agenda in 2 weeks' time, if action needs to be taken, if that's okay.
Yeah,
that's fine.
Sounds reasonable, yeah.
Yeah, we got reference to that last one.
It was 36 Denton Gardens. I didn't note anything else down, but yeah. It's on the planning board anyway. So.
You're going to go ask your neighbour what's
Yeah.
going on.
Actually, it looks like a really nice tree.
I'm worried it's contagious.
I'm just going to make a quick comment on my own as well, because I know that the Turkish barbers at the car wash, there's been comments come through to District Council and to the Parish Council as well, and so that's been looked into and rules applied where they need to be applied, just a general sort of thing, just in case people asking about it.
I have added it to the website as well under the clerk, so people can go on there and have a look at the council response.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's an ongoing little...
within the campaign car wash?
Yeah.
It's an odd place for a bar, I've got to say, but anyway, that's not my...
And I won't obviously minute that chair.
Yeah. Just a little comment.
I bet that whole thing about the Turkish barbers, I won't minute it because it's not on the agenda.
Specifically based in church.
You didn't go there for your haircut?
I didn't, no.
Right. So I've got all of them notes except 9.3, which is a parliamentary policy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll move on to item 10 then. That's everything on planning.
Yeah.
Are there any comments from other councillors first, just before I move on? No?
Let's take Friday.
We look forward to a bit from you neighbour, by the way.
Tell us what that is.
Item 10, to receive the 2024 External Health and Safety Report and consider required actions to be taken. This was in our packs. Do you wish to comment on this one, Jeremy?
Yeah, problems. So this is the action page out of the report that we received, and these are the actions that have come through. These are specifically for Bow Lane, because that's where the actions were this year. There's 4 actions. I can just read through them and tell you where we are today
Sure.
with each of them, and then council can discuss. So I have 12 months to provide a written copy of the asbestos survey. They have previously reviewed it and seen it. I just couldn't put my hand on the paperwork on the day of, so I just need to find that out and send it to them, but I've got 12 months to do that. They've got no concerns with that, because like I said, they have seen it previously, so they know it exists. There is an action about the screen safety basically at work, so you know when you have your desk risk assessment and it's how you sat and what you're working with. We have one member of staff that works from a laptop only, and they've recommended that actually we have a docking station and screen. But that's already something that council have discussed as part of the budget planning next year, so that's in progress. And what we've done in the meantime is a caretaker's PC that's already in place. We've set their profile up on that PC so they have the option to use the PC should they wish to rather than the laptop. So again, we've got it's low level priority in terms of the colour coding. Can you guys actually see the colour coding? Because I've really
No.
So priority 1 is red.
Oh, yeah.
Priority 1 is red. Priority 2 is amber. Priority 3 is yellow, and priority 4 is green. That's what your black and white, very grey things are.
Your different shades of grey is the right thing.
For those watching you,
So that's obviously priority 3, which is yellow. Number 3, this is something that's been a bit of a challenge since I started at the Parish Council, to be honest. So we have on 2 days of the week mums and toddlers group that run and they use the upstairs function room. And a lot of the users leave their prams downstairs outside the library. Now, if you've got 1 or 2, it's not a massive issue, but on some days where it's busy, you can have quite a few prams in that space, and we've got the fire extinguisher, the disabled door that opens outwards, and the fire exit route. So often what we're doing is we're having to go and reposition where the prams are. If we happen to have the downstairs room free, we'll put them in the room downstairs, or we're having to ask the user groups to take them up to the room with them, which then obviously limits the space in the room, and for anyone that's used that lift, they know how incredibly slow it is to come upstairs in their pram. We have recently put some signs up that basically politely ask users to take their pram into the room that they're using to try and limit that. But what we've also noticed is that for users of the library, actually taking their pram into the library is not an option and actually creates more of a fire exit issue.